Okay, so 2-8. This is quiz 5, study guide. And problem number 1 is 1 over y is equal to 7 over 6. All right, it's a proportion, so you're going to crisscross multiply to solve for the variable. So the first step is to multiply 7 times y, which is 7y, and make it equal to 1 times 6, which is 6. You can then divide both sides by 7. The 7s will cancel, and y is going to equal 6/7. And 6/7, if you divide it in the calculator, 6 divided by 7 equals 0.9. Number 2, x plus 1 over 9, and that's going to be equal to 6 over 3. You're going to crisscross multiply again. So you're going to take 3 times x plus 1 and make it equal to 9 times 6, which is 54. Next step is to distribute the 3. So 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times positive 1 is positive 3. You can subtract 3 from each side. So 3x will equal 51. And then divide each side by 3. And x will equal 17. Number 3. You've got the problem written down already. So I'm going to set up the proportion. All right, look. You set up your template. It's is over of, and in this case, what percent of 30 is 24? 24 is your is. 30 is your of. The percent is what you're trying to find, and it always goes over 100. So that's your setup, and then you crisscross multiply. So 30 times x is 30x. 24 times 100 is 2400. And you can divide both sides by 30. So x will be equal to 80. Three, 4, 5, and 6 all have the same setup. There's just different numbers. So number 4, what percent of 60 is 48? Here's your template. Your is 48. Your of is 60. Percent is what you're trying to find. And it always goes over 100. So crisscross multiply. 60 times x is 60x. And 48 times 100 is 4800. Divide both sides by 60. And x equals, looks like 80 again. 4800 divided by 60 is 80. Number 5, is over of equals percent over 100. Your is 31.5. of is 35. The percent is what you're trying to find, and it always goes over 100. Crisscross multiply. 35x equals 31.5 times 100 is 3150. And you can divide both sides by 35. So your x is equal to 3150 divided by 35, 90. Number 6, what percent of 100 is 73.8? So set up your proportion. Your is 73.8. Your of is 100. And that's equal to your percent over 100. So when you crisscross multiply, 100 times x is 100x. And 73.8 times 100 is 7380. When you divide both sides by 100, then your x is equal to 73.8. Number 7, a dress that normally costs $76.50 is on sale for 60% off. What is the sale price of the dress? Look, if it's normally $76.50, your normal price is going to be 100%. It's on sale for 60% off, so the sale is 60% off. So if you subtract 60 from 100%, you're left with 40%. So the question that you need to answer in this problem is, what is 40% of the normal price, which is 76.50? So set up a proportion. The is what you're trying to find. The of is 76.5. The percent is 40, and that always goes over 100. So when you crisscross multiply, 100x equals 40 times 76.5. Which is 3,060. And if you divide both sides by 100, then your x is equal to $30.60, which is the sale price of the dress. Number 8, what is the total cost of a $100 meal after including a 15% tip? All right, so the meal, that's 100% of the cost. The tip is a 15% tip. So you're going to add those together, and you're going to get 115%. So the question you're going to answer in this problem what is 115% of the meal price, which was $100.59. So set up the proportion. Is over of equals percent over 100. What is what you're trying to find? The is your x. Of is 100.59. Percent is 115, and it goes over 100. So when you crisscross multiply, 100x equals, you got 100.59 times 115. 567.9. And then you'll divide both sides by 100. So your x, or the cost of the meal including the tip, is $115.70. Second fix to 115.68. Number 9 is a sales tax problem. If the sales tax is 5%, what is the cost of a pair of shoes with a price of $40? So your price of the shoes is 100%. Your tax, that's 5%. So combined, you need 105%. So the question is, what is 105% of 40? So your is what you're trying to find, your of is 40. It's equal to your percent, which is 105, over 100. So if you crisscross multiply, then 100x equals 40 times 105, which is 4,200. If you divide both sides by 100, then your x is equal to 42. So the price of the shoes with the tax, $42. Number 10, 112% of what number is 840? So your is 840. Your of is what you're trying to find. It's equal to your percent, which is 112 over 100. Crisscross multiply. 112x equals 840 times 100. 84,000. And if you divide each side by 112, then your x is equal to 750. Number 11. 120% of what number is 777? So triple sevens is your of is what you're trying to find. It's equal to the percent, which is 120, and that goes over 100. When you crisscross multiply, 120x equals 777 times 100. That's 77,700. Divide that by 120, or divide both sides by 120. And x is equal to 647.50. Number 12. 150% of what number is 891.9? So 891.9 is your is. Your of is what you're trying to find. It's equal to your percent, which is 150. And that goes over 100. So 150x equals 891.9 times 100, 89,190. Divide both sides by 150. And your variable is equal to 594.60. Number 13. You deposited $100 in a savings account that earns 1% per year. You want to keep money in the account for 6 years. How much interest will you earn? So the first question you're going to answer is, what is 1% of 100? That'll tell you how much interest you're going to earn in 1 year. When you find that number, you're going to multiply it by 6. So your is x, your of is 100, your percent is 1, and it goes over 100. So when you crisscross multiply, you get 100x equals 100. And when you divide both sides by 100, then x is equal to 1. So you make a whole $1 on your $100. So you take that $1 that you make in that 1 year and you multiply it by 6, and you're going to make a whopping $6 on your 100 for keeping it in the bank for 6 years. You're going to be rich. $6. Any questions? No. All right.